Welcome, everyone. Are you a childcare provider looking for ways to incorporate more family engagement within your childcare home or your center, or have you had a hard time keeping your children's interest, whether that be via remote learning or any kind of facility you're at? Or are you oftentimes tired of trying to do research on how to make activities fun and captivating during these unprecedented times like these? So things like this is what we're going to be covering today regarding family engagement in your childcare industry from one of our very own staff members. If you're new here, hi everyone, Milena Boris. I am our membership and marketing specialist doing our weekly What's Up Wednesday interview. Very excited to announce that we have Jen here with us, one of our EHS staff members working with family engagement. So hi Jen, welcome. Thanks for taking the time.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So first, tell us a little bit about your role with ELV as the family engagement manager overall.
Absolutely. So my role is really to help build systems and support staff and strategies around engaging families.
Perfect.
As a early Head Start team, we support the recruitment, enrollment, and retention of early Head Start families. Specialists offer resource and referral, crisis intervention, and goal development to families. The final, and in my opinion, the most important piece that we provide to families is really to acknowledge them as their child's first teacher and to help them understand their child's unique growth and development.
That's awesome. Yeah, a very well-rounded big group of efforts there. So break it down a little bit for us, for those who may be new to the topic, kind of what family engagement means in the ECE realm.
Sure. So in my mind, there are really two different distinct types of family engagement opportunities. And so one is really specific to that parent involvement, which is what we normally think about when we are referring to family engagement. So these are like the typical family events, celebrations, newsletters, those types of activities. These are usually activities that we do for families. But a really great family engagement program should also include opportunities for families and providers to work together to create new activities. The distinction is that we're doing with and not for families. Okay. So this might look like having a parent who is an artist come into a classroom or the program and do an art activity with with some of the children.
Sure.
Or you might notice that many of your families are complaining that they really lack a social network. And so you can kind of bring these families together into a group and kind of discuss what sort of networking that they might need. And they might decide that once a month, they're going to meet either at or near your center for like a coffee group.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. And so having families engaged in all aspects of programming really helps to create a richer experience that supports all children's success.
Families, children's, yeah, everyone involved. Yeah, that's awesome. So how have our EHS specialists and you been able to provide that extra support in the engagement area, specifically during COVID this year?
Yes. So our specialists have been working really hard to support families during this time. At the beginning of the pandemic, we were connecting with families a lot more regularly than we normally do, just so that we could assess our families' needs. Over the last several months, that process has definitely changed, and that is to really meet the needs of our families. Some of the great things that we have been able to provide directly to our families we were given the opportunity to provide rental and utilities assistance directly to our early Head Start families.
Awesome.
Which was so desperately needed.
Oh, sure.
And then most recently, Early Learning Ventures was able to provide Thanksgiving meals for families in our network that are under-resourced.
Right. Perfect. Yeah, that's awesome. Have you heard any success stories specifically from providers or the specialists themselves of anyone who's adapted new activities within their families this year?
Yes, indeed. Chaos breeds creativity. And so our providers have been really innovative and resourceful. some of the ideas that providers have been using are doorstep drop-offs.
Mm-hmm.
And what this is they come up with an activity that would help support a homeschooling. And they would put together the activity packets and go directly to the family's door, drop it off in a properly social distance manner.
Sure.
And the family can pick it up and do the activity at home with their child.
That's awesome.
Very similarly, another activity that they've been using to build more community is to put together the activity packets. Then parents are able to pick the packets up on drop off or pickup. And then later when they get home as a family at a designated time, they can jump on a Zoom call with all the other families and do the activity as a larger community. So that's been a great way to connect the families, because one of the things that we've started to realize is that both for families, there's not really a way to develop that organic relationship that we're used to building when we can see each other on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
And so the same thing is happening for teachers and families. They're no longer seeing each other on that day-to-day. They don't get to do the hello, goodbye, how was the day? So we've had to be really creative on how to support develop that relationship
Overall.
And so what some of the programs have done is create classroom-specific newsletters, which helps bridge that communication gap.
Sure.
Others are just making sure that their teachers are reaching out to families on a more regular basis. They have to be really intentional about that. And the other great thing that we've been using is Alliance Core has a messaging feature where we can directly reach out to families using the messaging feature, and then parents can easily access that using the Parent app.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, good plug there. So you touched on it a little bit with the newsletters and stuff, but what's the most impressive or creative way you think that people have heard you've seen a provider do or heard of a provider do regarding family engagement this year?
Oh, there's so many great ones, but I'll call out a very specific one that is actually a collaboration with one of our community partners.
Oh.
Cooking Matters, who we have partnered with in the past to provide healthy options for preschoolers and parents, which I hope some of our listeners are familiar with.
Right.
But they are also trying to figure out new ways to work through this virtual world that we're living in. And so very similarly to our grocery store pop-ups that we did last year for our Healthy Options for Preschoolers and Parents programming, they are given the materials at the center, then they can watch the video when they go home and learn a little bit about the nutrition facts, all those different pieces that we learn about in those pop-ups. And then they can also do the activity at home. But we have also had programs who, in order to build that community, are really promoting photos of that activity that their families are doing at home on social media.
Yeah.
And so even though we're not seeing each other, we're still able to connect on some level.
Yeah, on the same activity. Yeah, that's awesome. That's such a good idea. Do you have any specific, if people have any questions about family engagement overall, where can they go to for more information with that?
Well, I would like to offer myself as a resource. And so if there are any specific family engagement related questions, they can reach out to me at Rosendo, Rosendo. I guess my name is spelled on the bottom there. But I would be happy to answer any questions and help connect you with someone who might, if I don't have the answer, might better support your your search.
Yeah. Is there any like online resource or website they could go to in addition to that off the top of your head?
Absolutely. So again, plug here. We do have a wealth of resources on the resource platform. So I would definitely recommend checking out the family engagement section on the platform. I also personally really love the Office of Head Start's. It's either called eClick or ECLEC, depending on how you choose to pronounce it. I don't know which one is correct.
Yeah,
but that stands for Early Childhood Learning and Knowledge Center.
Perfect.
And so they have fantastic resources that anyone can access. And you don't have to be a Head Start grantee to use them, which is also the real great thing about that. NACI has some great resources. And then we do partner with Broom and Right by 3, which just have some really great activities for families to do at home with their children.
Sure. Awesome. So what advice would you give the providers looking to try new engagement activities that haven't kind of reached out or ventured into that area before?
I think one of my biggest suggestions is to really, again, as I mentioned at the beginning, ensuring that you have a group of parents that you rely on for that support. So can they be at least your sounding board or help to create your programming? Also, don't be afraid to try new things. The worst thing that can happen is that you find out what doesn't work for your demographic.
Yeah, it'll flop and try something else, right?
Absolutely. And then to that point, I would also encourage everyone to remember that just because it didn't work once doesn't mean that it won't work ever.
Sure.
Because what we know in early childhood and all educational settings is that it's constantly evolving, and so should our family engagement programming.
Sure, it should never stay the same. Yeah, exactly. So I'll give you the last little bit of time here just to wrap up. If there's any kind of overall feedback updates that you would like to share on your behalf for our ELV network watching.
Absolutely. One of the most favorite things that we're doing right now is we are actually providing 9 Zoom conscious discipline sessions. And it has been amazing so far. We were very lucky, and we're able to partner with Amy Speidel from Conscious Discipline to be able to provide these sessions. And some of the results, we've gone through 3 sessions so far, and participants are just loving it.
Awesome.
It is for both parents and teachers.
Okay.
And so we've got a nice mix of individuals who are participating. But what I would like to share is that we are rolling out a self-paced course in the next few weeks that everyone would be able to have access to.
Okay.
And so stay tuned for more information.
Perfect. Yeah, and they can reach out either on our comments online, or I can send them your way with your email. Awesome.
Absolutely.
You shared so much wonderful information, so I appreciate your time again, and I hope you have a good day.
Thank you. Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.